Hey guys, comicScimoc. New comic review series. Weekly. Sometime during each week. That's what we're doing here today. I'm going to tell you about these comics. Today we're going to talk about New Superman, issue 22, The Immortal Men, issue 1, and Detective Comics, issue 978. So, I'm going to start off, no spoilers. Then later, I'm going to go a little more in-depth with the ones that I feel like deserve it. We're going to start with New Superman. It was my favorite this week. Really loved it. New Superman manages to balance a lot of fun action, humor, with good, interesting philosophy and Chinese mythology. If you don't know anything about the series, the basis is that a secret piece of the government in China is going about creating Chinese versions of American superheroes like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and it gives rise to many interesting types of stories that haven't been told before. I'm loving it so far. The issue deals with themes of people or groups of people imposing their will on others through force, through power. It had great character interactions. The art is pretty good, and the designs of the suits are very nice. Recently, a North Korean Aquaman character was introduced. There's this joke where Aquaman keeps showing up for 1 second, doing something, and then immediately leaving on a huge wave because he has an important task to do. But it's usually just like, bam, one panel, and then bam, another, and he's gone on a huge wave. Moving on, we've got the Immortal Men, which is one of the things spinning out from Metal, the big event that just ended, called The New Age of Heroes. Pretty good. It kind of followed that standard plot of a teenage boy, keeps having mysterious dreams, starts to get little powers, and then becomes embroiled in some ancient conflict, and he's supposed to be like the one that helps them out, that's gonna put them all the way through. It's, it can work if they make everything else in the world interesting, which it seems like they're going in a good direction with. The ancient conflict is that there's this secret race of immortals that has been affecting what happens in the human world over the course of all of history. It's a bit cheesy, and it could use with less narration. The art was pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of, I think it's Jim Lee doing the artwork. It's a bit flat. The action doesn't have very much impact. The colors are even more, they're very gray, kind of flat. Except for the first page, which had a nice standard layout. I completely read the whole thing in very dark and hazy, but still the same artist doing it. But in the very bottom right, there was like a blue hand. The last comic that I picked up this week is Detective Comics, issue 978. Storyline going on is Batman Eternal. This one's written by James Tynion IV, and the art was my favorite thing about this issue. The art was done by Javier Fernandez. His art has this kind of sketchy feeling about it, but the inks are very bold. There's a lot of great panel layouts. There's one page that is absolutely beautiful. And the whole thing evokes a feeling of being in the rain without really actually showing the rain. It's just that the building is done all in these hatches that are down, and around Batman's shoulders you can see a bit of this blue rain, and the colors are also amazing here. The colors were done by John Cleese. Batman is highlighted by this pink pastel color, and then the night is done in this purpley washed out color that is like washed downwards to also mimic rain. I'd say definitely pick this one up because the art is great. I really want Javier Fernandez to do like a dirty detective story with Batman. That would be perfect for him. This plotline is not the most suited for him, but it's still working great anyway. And that's that for no spoilers. Let's go over to the spoiler corner so that we don't It's us. We're in the spoiler corner. They can't hear us. It's okay. Let's start off with Immortal Men. Immortal Men is setting up that there are multiple houses of this campus that is there. And it says that the first house is the House of Conquest. This was the first house of the Immortals, founded by the Infinite Woman. Not a great name, but like, it's okay. Then you've got the House of Action. Their philosophies are very laid out in the very last few pages, very clearly. Let's go grab the comic and dive into it. The Infinite Woman, who is the leader of the House of Conquest, is saying to him that like his morals, his how he wants to like save everyone, save the world, is wrong, because that's not how the world works in her view. The world works as a competition. She says it's saved when one person strives to rip out their brother's throat and reap the spoils of victory. Competition, jealousy, and conquest. And she's saying that heroes only save the world for a moment. The only thing that matters is the person that's in control. This is immediately contrasted with the views of the House of Action, which is laid out in these 4 nicely done panels. This is some of my other favorites in this. It says, don't listen to her, kid. I can tell you how to save the world. It's in every swing of the axe, every strike of the claw. It's in the judgment of good men with righteous intent. Action is what matters, not conquest, not control. It matters that you are trying, that you are swinging your axe, that you are striking with your claws. You're always moving forward to try to get done what you think should get done. We'll see how this guy pans out. Let's talk about Detective Comics. Really, all I want to say, I love the art in this. And also, I like the little together needs to be earned bit of this whole thing. It's a good message. The one that I liked the most was New Superman, the Justice League of China. Issue 22. This one we can really dig into, so let's do that. This issue had strong themes, like I said earlier, of people or groups of people using overwhelming power to impose their will upon other people or other groups of people. And this is highlighted throughout the whole issue in many different ways. The first is that Batman is imposing his will upon the whole team by, instead of talking to them and figuring out what they should do with the North Korean refugee, the new Aquaman, he decides to just call up the Green Lantern Corps of China that they have created to take him to North Korea. And Green Lanterns are literally a representation of willpower. You're exerting your will. Batman is exerting his willpower, literally. And then you have Superman becoming possessive of his powers when the Green Lantern Corps threatens to be able to take them away from him. He becomes a bit possessive of his powers and says that they are mine. And he turns completely white, which is a clear, that's not just like a cool costume change. The yin and yang symbol on his chest has now been switched to completely yang. He says that all I am is power. And yang is associated with the sun, which ties into the Superman power. And it also ties into masculinity, which I think could be a theme that this is also trying to play upon. All the male characters in this keep just acting on whatever they think they need to do, without really consulting anyone else. And Superman is going as far to be just like, oh, I'm just gonna kill Aquaman. There's no other way. I'm just gonna kill him. And then you've got one of the more interesting pieces of this, which is Aquaman. Aquaman is from North Korea. Coming from North Korea, where you have a leader that is imposing what they think is right over a large group of people using power. And so Aquaman was kind of brainwashed before this, but now he has suddenly gotten these powers from this unknown thing that is referred to as his father, saying it is his true father, and that now he is known to be known as the Dragon Son, and that he needs to go open up this portal and drown all of North Korea. Except that's just the same thing. It's another person that he doesn't really know what their credibility really is, telling him to do something and him following it. And it might be because he hasn't really fully connected with his freedom yet. He goes to a place that is a bit more comfortable, and he believes this this father, and is like, yes, I will go destroy this place. And he needs to open up a rift there to drown everyone. I love the balance that this whole series pulls off. It's great. That is it for spoiler corner. Should we go back? Maybe, I don't know. Yes. You know, this is the first episode of comicScimoc, so, you know, I'm gonna be trying out things with this series. I'm gonna be figuring out what I want to do with it. So far, I'm gonna use it as an outlet for me understanding the comics that I read better, and being able to read them closely and analyze what they're actually about. I'm gonna be trying out new comics that look interesting to me and continuing series that I think are continuing to be good. I'm not gonna be reviewing every single comic, just the ones that I like. And so if you like that, stick around and... I am exerting my power. You must like and subscribe. You must.